If you were discharged from the military over the C-19 vax, are you going to come back if requested? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the U.S. Air Force and the U.S. Army requesting troops and soldiers to come back to action if they were discharged or if they left due to the C-19 vax mandate. Now, this is a very interesting turn of events. I have a few questions. First of all, to you guys who are out there, if you left or if you were discharged and there was a lot of contention and a lot of anger and controversy behind it, do you want to come back? If they said, hey, Mr. X, Y, and Z, come on back to action. Let's let bygones be bygones, water under the bridge. Do you want to come back? Are you going to accept that? And also, why are they doing this now? Why all of a sudden, 2 or 3 years later, are they doing this? Is it because we got a bunch of foreign wars we're getting involved in? Allegedly, I saw some boots on the ground in a certain part of the Middle East, but that's a different story, and I digress. Not only is that happening, they're talking about going to Taiwan and South China Sea, and then there's still the whole Ukraine kerfuffle we got going on, so maybe we're kind of stretched a little bit thin, and we need some of the good guys to come on back to action who were unfairly discharged due to the C-19 vax mandate. Now, we're going to get into an article briefly, then we're going to get into a video speaking about the Air Force specifically, and also the Army. But here is a headline. Exclusive. Air Force begs troops booted over C-19 vax to come back. Now, again, if this is you, if you fall into that category, do you want to come back? They're saying, hey, come on back. We're sorry. We apologize. Well, are they going to apologize? I'm not really sure. They might not go that far, but they're saying, come on back. Do you want to? Now, before I go any further into it, let's go ahead and roll the news clip. This is on Fox. This is about the Army specifically, because both the Army and the Air Force have issued a request for troops and soldiers, respectively, to come on back to action. And I would presume this will go for the entire military, all branches. I don't see why they wouldn't do it, especially, like I said, we got 2 and 3 foreign wars going on. You got worldwide tensions ramping up. We need good guys to come on back to action. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it. And if you want to see it in full, link, as always, will be in the box. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website.
Repercussions of its COVID-era policy. It says its cuts over vaccine mandates have weakened the size of its force and are now calling on them to come on back to service. Mike Emanuel's got that story live in Washington for us. Mike.
Bill, good morning. The Army kicked out more than 1,900 soldiers for refusing a COVID vaccine. At least 19.
Now, let's pause right here. Now, if the Army kicked out nearly 1,900 soldiers over the vax, how many people left voluntarily, didn't re-enlist? Because I know people, literally, they've told me, you know what, I could have re-enlisted, I could have kept on my career, but I didn't like the way things were going. I didn't like the mandates. I didn't like the leadership. It wasn't just the mandates. That was just like the straw on the camel's back. That was the proverbial straw on the camel's back. There's a lot more things wrong with the military in the United States beyond the C-19 mandate. That was just a final straw for many people. So if 1,900 were outright discharged, how many more did not continue, left, or whatever because of that? Probably a lot more than those who were discharged, but let's keep on going.
18 of them have now been welcomed back to.
Okay, hold on. Let me just go back a little bit.
At least 19 of them have now been welcomed back to active duty.
So out of 1,900, 19 have come back. Let's just make sure I'm hearing the right thing.
100 soldiers for
us. Mike.
Bill, good morning. The Army kicked out more than 1,900 soldiers for refusing a COVID vaccine. At least 19 of them have now been welcomed back to active.
So out of almost 2,000 guys that were discharged, about 20 have come back. Okay.
Duty. A letter signed by Brigadier General Hope Rampey, Army Director of Personnel Management, says, quote, as a result of the rescission of all current COVID-19 vaccination requirements, former soldiers who were involuntarily separated for their refusal to receive the COVID-19 vaccination may request a correction of their military records.
Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that if you were discharged, that they're going to expunge the discharge from your record? And here's another thing. Are they only going to expunge the discharge from your record if you come back? What if you decide to not come back? Are they still going to keep that on your record, although they have rescinded the mandate? I'm trying to figure that out.
The Army is struggling when it comes to meeting its recruiting goals. Active duty has dropped from 485,000 in 2021 to about 452,000. Its goals for fiscal 2023, which ended at the end of September, was 65,000 new recruits. The Army came up 10,000 short, so Army leadership is outselling service.
We're looking for more, a call to service to come into our ranks, and I think it will accelerate their life. So we'd love to talk about the opportunities to be in the Army or any of the services.
They've also enlisted some VIP help, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson visiting the Pentagon to talk recruiting last week. It is critical, as Pentagon brass expects the Army to play a significant role if there's conflict in Asia.
I tend to think that the Army will have a huge supporting role for the joint force in the Indo-Pacific. And in that regard, what do I mean by that? I think the Army will play a core role in establishing and protecting staging bases for our air forces, for our maritime forces.
Recruiting is not a new problem, as the Army has not achieved its recruiting goals since 2014. Bill?
Got to get on it 9 years later.
2014, that's a long time, ain't it?
Thank you, Mike. Mike Emanuel.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
So there we have it. That's what's going on with the Army and the Air Force, and I would presume all U.S. military branches. They want the same thing. They're not able to meet their goals. And then the question is, why are they not able to meet their goals? Now, I'm going to look something up right now. Okay, I'm going to look something up right now. This could be a particular reason why. So we got to be real diverse, of course. Got to show the women and everything. They're going to turn me up with this music. I'm going to just turn that down a little bit. So they got the cadence and whatnot in the background. They're just showing, hugging their family, leaving your hometown, real soft, all kind of stuff like that. That's the general commercial. This is cool right here. Guy with his dad in the truck. All right, so this isn't too bad. This is okay. I've seen a lot worse than that. But now let's look at Russia. Russia and their military. This is pretty important. We've been trying to improve our outreach efforts here. So the commercial you just saw was a little bit better. This one from 2021, you're going to see a dramatic difference. Now, first, they're going to start with, I believe, an ad from Russia.
Твоей новой жизни. Что ты знаешь о себе? На что ты способен? Вопросы могут остаться без ответов, но разве ты сумел знать себя, познать границы своих возможностей? К черту границы.
Now, one thing you're not going to see is a bunch of soft and hugging your mom and your dad and women and all that kind of stuff. You're going to see rough and tumble guys, men, males.
Боя нет победы, но на самом деле главный враг – это задача выследить врага, догнать его, превзойти, стать лучше, чем он.
It begins in California.
Now, that was the Russia ad. No softness, pure grit, right? Like something you would see in a war movie. Now, here we go to the United States. Now, again, they've improved it, but this was 2021.
California, with a little girl raised by two moms. I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age. To marry my other mom. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class. And after meeting with an Army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength. I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord.
So this is the difference. And when you have this kind of ideology in the military, you're going to have a hard time recruiting people and keeping people. That's a big part of the problem. And not just people, but good people, guys that really should be there, guys that should be in leadership, guys that are going to be, having the high IQs and that are going to go out there and do very good for the military. You're going to have a hard time maintaining those people. And that's probably why they want to get guys back that have been kicked out because of the mandate. They probably let go of their best people. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to the military. You guys got a lot of work to do, not just from the perspective of the mandate, trying to rescind that, but overall leadership and also being stretched too thin all over the world. Maybe don't try to get into 2 and 3 wars over in Middle East, Southeast Asia, Europe. Maybe don't be stretched too thin, and maybe the recruitment efforts. And also, here's something else. Maybe I don't want to get recruited into the military right now when you got all these wars going on. You keep giving Ukraine billions of dollars. You're trying to go over here, go over there. Maybe I don't want to get involved right now. It's just like during 9/11. Did you really want to join? Some guys wanted to join at that point, but a lot of guys didn't. It was going to be either I'm going to step up for the country or I'm not trying to go die in Iraq. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the U.S. military rescinding the vax mandate to try and get guys back? You think it's going to work if you were discharged or you left because of the mandate? Do you want to come back if you were invited? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. The military has a lot of problems. They have a lot of work they need to do. And this might be a step in the right direction, but I'm not quite sure it's going to be enough. Okay, you saw the commercials. Although they've improved their commercials, a lot of that ideology from the real soft and woke and feminist thing is still within the military right now. And that is a big part of the problem. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.